Alrighty. Yeah, so this is my first upload here. I'm still figuring out how YouTube works, but I just wanted to share some stories from Reddit. Reddit's like the best site on the internet to work with. Well, to waste time on. I'm gonna be honest. One of my favorite subreddits, it's ProRevenge. Now, this guy, the username is Jock BBC Boy. Here's his story. The title is Hippity Hoppity, You Damaged My Property. Bippity Boppity, I'm calling the company. Bippity Boppity Boo, they're taking your kids too. Alright, just by the yeah, that's pretty depressing. The fact that they're gonna lose their kids, but they fucked up. This is a good one. 4 silver, 3 gold, 1 platinum. Alrighty. Let's begin. I apologize in advance for the length. TLDR at the end. That's par for the course with these kind of things. This happened shortly after college. My mom is a retired disabled woman who now owns her house on a quiet residential cul-de-sac. She has lived there longer than anyone else. Her neighborhood has designated parking spaces at the end of the cul-de-sac, all with the addresses of each house painted in the parking space. My mom doesn't get out much, so I use her designated parking space. At the time, we lived in the same city, and I visited her weekly to bring groceries, fix broken things, cook for her, etc. My mom parked her car in the backyard of her house. Since she went out so little, Mom kept busy by gardening or baking/buying cookies for the children on the street. Oh shit, she's sweet. But you could just be, making your mom appear sweeter to us. She might be a bitch, Mom's neighbor, Ivy, I take it that's a fake name. My mom's neighbor, Ivy, never parked well. Whenever I stopped by, her car was always parked so close to my car that I had to park on the curb. I wouldn't have cared about Ivy's piss poor parking, but for 2 things. 1, she had 4 or 5 kids and had parties almost every weekend, leaving trash in my mom's yard. Number 2, I love my car. A 2016 metallic ice blue Dodge Challenger Hellcat, the first car I had ever purchased brand new. I washed that car once a week, detailed the interior, and had rules against eating, drinking, or even leaving trash in my car. It was my pride and joy. Mom had talked to the police throughout Ivy's residence because of the parties. Ivy's guests would fill up the cul-de-sac with their cars, obstructing traffic, and get into loud drunk fights at and after midnight. I often found empty beer bottles, empty condom wrappers, cigarette butts, and empty and crack baggies on the fence between the properties, mostly on Ivy's side of the fence. This is all important information. Don't worry, I'm invested, and I hope you are too. One Saturday, while having dinner at my mom's house, I heard a loud crash, and my car alarm went off. I ran outside to see Ivy's older model Honda Accord back out of her parking space and speed down the street. Ivy's Accord had a dent from the front bumper to the door. Shit. From the front bumper? Shit. To the door. Okay. And the headlight had popped out. I approached my Challenger with trepidation and screamed in anguish at what I saw. Oh boy. My car, my beautiful 3-week-old car. 3 weeks? With less than 500 miles on it, had a dent stretching from the passenger's door to the front bumper, and the right front wheels was tilted at a 30-degree angle. What the this bitch is, she was drunk. She was on something. I was livid and in anguish as I called the police, filed an online claim with my insurance, and arranged for a tow truck to take my damaged car to the dealership. The estimated cost of repairs came out to $3,400. Total cost of repairs was eventually $6,500. I had a low insurance deductible, $100, but my car was parked and Ivy owed for the damages. For 2 weeks, I knocked on Ivy's door or waited for her to come home. She stopped driving her damaged Accord and either rented or borrowed a Ford Fusion. When she was home, she didn't answer the door. When she wasn't, she stayed away until my rental car, a Dodge Charger, left Mom's parking space. I left a note on Ivy's door for her to call me, but only received harassing calls from restricted phone numbers or people blaring car horns in my ear when I answered. The revenge. Ooh, this bitch is a bitch. Like, oh my god. This is like the worst kind of person to have in your vicinity because she made a lot of bad choices, right? She has like 4 to 5 kids. I assume for different men. She's always having parties. She's definitely doing hard drugs. Definitely. And she's an alcoholic on top of that. The fact that she's bad at parking indicates that she's using drugs throughout the day. I don't know how this lady makes money, but more than likely she's getting money from her. I don't know how many, but she's getting money from the baby daddies. That's what I assume it to be. This person is a piece of shit. And I'm so thankful that this is a revenge story. Because usually this kind of person, they get away. She could have just ran away. The guy couldn't really do much. But here's the revenge. And he even has it written here. The revenge. Oh, I'm excited. About 2 weeks after the accident, Ivy's children came to Mom's house for some cookies. What? So wait. Well, you can't really hold it against the kids, right? The kids are... Alright, you can't hold it against the kids. But, the fact that she was still willing to allow her kids to go over there and get cookies. This bitch is a bitch. About 2 weeks after the accident, Ivy's children came to Mom's house for some cookies. I noticed that 2 of them had bruises around their eyes. Oh my god. If Ivy hadn't hit my car, I still would have done what I did, but maybe not as underhandedly. I had Mom take pictures with and of the children, but waited until the next party to strike. Ooh, they knew... Ivy had a party that night, or the night after. Mom called me to let me know, and I installed an app onto my phone that gave me a fake phone number. I called 911 and reported party. There's a loud party at blah blah blah, blah 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 drive. And I'm worried because the children are around all these drunk adults. Please hurry. Mom called to let me know that the police had arrived. I drove to her house, stopping by our grocery store first so that I appeared to be there for a reason, and saw Ivy with her boyfriend, Bane, already sitting in the back of a squad car. From a news broadcast that night, I found out that Bane had warrants out for his arrest. Initially, the charges were disorderly conduct and disturbing the peace. However, Mom turned over the photos of the children, anonymously mailing them through the post office with Ivy's address and name as the return address. Less than a week later, Ivy and Bane were charged with child abuse charges. I think Bane was charged with more severe charges, as well as for abusing Ivy's daughter. Oh my god. Either way, the children ended up in foster care, and Ivy and Bane ended up in prison. TLDR. My car was hit by such a foul which, being a pro, I played a snitch. Her children had bruises. She had no excuses. My plan went well. No hitch. Boom. Upvoted. This was a great revenge story. Now, he did play the role of a snitch, right? But that's perfectly fine. Because this lady, 1, had 4 to 5 kids. 2, she knew that this guy was a felon. And she was with him. Right? And he was running away from the cops. That's the thing. If you're running away from the cops and you're a felon, dude, you kind of deserve everything that comes to you. 4, she was having parties all the time with kids in the house. With adults who were drunk, coked up degenerates. That's not safe. And also, that her boyfriend, number 4, her boyfriend was molesting the daughter. So she knew about this. This is actually pretty commonplace. When you have a degenerate woman with kids, she will allow her children to be used by her partner or other men if there's a financial gain. That is fucking terrible. I don't even know, this is a blessing, right? You did a good thing here. I don't know how good foster care is for the kids, but it would be better than this. It's way better than getting molested all the time. The fact that, the kids went around with bruises like it was nothing, this has been a common thing for those kids to get attacked by them. It could be the mom or the boyfriend or both, but it's commonplace if the kids just walked around with bruises like that. So you saved some kid's life. All right, let's go into the comments and see what happened here. Let's look at the top comments. That rhymed so well. For a second there, I thought I was reading the weirdest Dr. Seuss book ever. Alright. Yeah, he's a good storyteller. But thank you for listening. Hope you enjoyed. I'm out.